G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. I just want to do a quick update on the last video I did on Quedlinburg. I glossed over so many things that I shouldn't have, and I really didn't give that video enough attention. I've been spending the last 3 or 4 days going down this German rabbit hole. I keep getting comments and I keep looking at something and I keep learning something new, and then I look at that and then I go down another rabbit hole, and I'm totally lost in the warren at the moment. But I just wanted to go back and really pay this village a bit of justice, because from what I've been reading, it is an amazing story, and let's have a quick look at that. So firstly, the thing that really struck me when I looked at the history of this little village, is how old it is. So even though the earliest records are from only the 900s, it's said to be early 800s. So you would imagine that if the earliest recording of an abbey or of a cathedral was in 922, well, you would assume that the village is a little bit older than that. You just don't make castles overnight. So therefore, it has to have some sort of settlement there for maybe 50 or 60 years before that. So just that in itself, how old this little village is amazing. I was just laughing with my wife about how old it is. We live in the Philippines, so it's twice as old as the Philippines, and it's five times older than Australia. But what's really interesting about it, apart from its age, is the things that are in the village that are still there, and the history of the place in general. So let's go and have a look at this. So the Abbey, let's start there with the Abbey. So the Collegiate Foundation, or the Collegiate Abbey, I don't know if that was the original name of it, but again, an amazing story from this little village. That this abbey has been run by women for 1,000 years. So instead of having abbots, there's abbess, which I have never ever heard of in my life. So going all my time, I've been to every abbot in England, and I've been to so many of them, and they're all run by men. So to find out that this one is a Frauenstift, and it's been continuously run by abbess, is such an amazing thing. And a really amazing thing that there was a book written there really early on, like in about 950, something like that, by one of the first abbesses. I don't even know if there's a word for this, but abbesses? Anyway, it's called the Annals of Quedlinburg, and it's the first book that actually mentions the name of Lithuania. So anyone from Lithuania, you need to thank Quedlinburg for your name. It would take about 4 hours to go through all the history that's happened in this little village, from kings all the way through to knights, all the way through to saints, all the way through to modern day 300-400-year-old poets and writers and actors and scientists. The list is just incredible. And so, but we'll just focus on a couple of ones. So there's a statue in the village of Roland. Now, I knew nothing about Roland until I, like I said, went down the rabbit hole. And it's not just the fact that that's a story about some knight of Charlemagne, Jesus Christ, how far are we going back now? But also how old that statue is. Again, 1400s. You know, and we have records about when they cleaned it, or they had to restore it in 1422, which is just absolutely amazing. And then it got lost, and then it got reclaimed, and then it got destroyed, and then it got reclaimed again, and all the history just of the statue is absolutely amazing to me. And like I said, 1400s, America wasn't discovered at that time. When that statue was built or commissioned or just even restored, the Americas weren't even discovered. So half of the world wasn't even discovered at that time. But yeah, really amazing history. Kings, queens, courtiers, people of influence from all over Europe were involved. Cousins, daughters, murder, intrigue. So much is going on in this place. And like I said, I haven't even touched it yet. I clicked on coins and I just went for another couple of hours down just coins. So I've still got months to learn about this one little village. But yeah, so let's move on to another thing in this place. So we don't like talking about Germans' dark history. Well, I don't mind, but I'm sure Germans don't like it. But yeah, we all know about what happened 100 years ago or 80 years ago. So even this monastery was taken over by the Nazis, and with so much history, and we all know what the Nazi regime was like. They tried to repatriate all the history of anything to do with German or the superior races, all that rubbish that they went on with. But yeah, they actually set up a Nazi museum in this place as well, which is a bit of a darker side of the village, but again, still history, and it just shows you how important this place was and still is in German history. So while I was doing all this, I just thought I'd just do a bit of a Google play. So I put in, what is the oldest house in Germany? And funny enough, I got a result of the Werdgasse 3, or 3, Werdgasse 3, and it happened to be in Quedlinburg. So I didn't even see it in the video. And then I had to go back and watch the video that I got from Uli, and you just see a little bit of it. And I can't believe that he went to this place and he didn't even look at one of the oldest half-timbered houses in Germany, if not one of the oldest or the oldest half-timbered houses in Germany, and also possibly the oldest house ever in Germany. And it didn't even get a mention. So that's what I always think about, is that people who live in places where you have so much history, you just walk past this stuff and you don't really notice it, or you don't understand what's really happened, or all that sort of stuff. So just have a look at this. We only get a little small section of it, but I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. It's just an absolutely amazing building. Just thinking about how many families have lived in that building over the last 800 years, and I did a couple of sums on that. That's about 32 generations, which is just incredible. So also, if it's the oldest half-timbered house in Germany, you would also think that the timbers are the oldest as well. I would imagine the floorboards are the oldest as well, the joists are the oldest, the door frames are the oldest. So it's not just about the building, it's about everything that makes that. And I would love to hear the thing at night time, or when it's cold, or when it's hot, and hear how it moved, and hear the wood push against itself. That would be an absolute dream of mine. I'm sure it hasn't got the oldest windows anymore, because German windows are fantastic. They would have changed them. But yeah, just looking at that building, that is fairy tale like. And again, a building that is 4 times older than my country. I just found another one, huh? The Roma in Limburg. The oldest timbered house, 1289. Jesus Christ. Full timber. Now I also looked at some other houses in Germany, and I found another one called the Roma, or I don't know what the O with the Ular is on top. The Roma 246 in Limburg an der Lahn. So apparently that's 1289, but that's a full timbered house, which is be absolutely amazing to go see too. So if anyone's got any information on that, I'd love to hear about that as well. So not only have we been looking at how wonderful this little village is and all the great history that it has, but there's another twist to it, is that all of the artifacts that have been found in and around Quedlinburg during the Second World War, some American soldiers stole them all and took them away, and later on they were actually found in America, or they were sold in auctions in Texas and stuff like that. Again, all I wanted was the oldest house in Germany, and you start off going like this, like the medieval street, and then you end up over in Texas with this amazing artwork that's been stolen from the village as well. So, like I said, I haven't even got anywhere near this, but there's another one. This leads all back to the whole reason why I started having a little bit of a deeper dive into Quedlinburg was Holler Street, or Holler Street, which is Hell Street. So I put out a couple of feelers, and I asked a couple of people. I was asking in the comments and on Facebook and that sort of stuff, why would a village, a medieval village, be called Hell Street? So Uli, who did this video, this wonderful video, he said that he was told that there was a fire pit somewhere along the street, and it was the only fire pit, and it was also like the poor area of the village, so everyone would go down to the fire pit in the colder months, and therefore they were looking at hell. Also, a couple of my other regular commenters said that it might have something to do with a tannery, which makes sense. I've actually worked in abattoirs. I know what it's like. I know the blood smell. I know what it smells like when they boil blood. It smells like death. So I could understand that a tannery or an abattoir or a butcher or something like that could also be related to that. In English we have something similar, slaughter. So you'll see slaughter bridge. Most people associate that as a fight or a war, but most times it's just killing animals and letting the blood go down the stream so you get rid of the smell. So yeah, slaughter, hell, they kind of go hand in hand. I actually went to a pub in Cornwall called Bucket of Blood, and the reason why it was called Bucket of Blood, it was because it was the old inn for the slaughterhouse. So yeah, you kind of get that. But I actually did a bit of research on it, and I know my German's 2%, but actually I had to read a couple of papers in German, and it seems to be that there was some sort of peat bog that was there in 1200s, 1300s, the early or the Middle Ages, or late Middle Ages, sorry. So, and it was a really combustible material, and when the people would dig out the bog and they would throw it on their fireplace at home, it would actually explode like an inferno. So people started referring to it like Hell's Peat or Hell's Dirt. So that's where I think it most likely comes from. But anyway, I hope you enjoy this little recap on Quedlinburg. It's been a fantastic journey. I'm going to keep doing it. Like I said, I haven't even got to the cathedral yet, or to the monastery. Really looking forward to that. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you in the next one. Auf Wiedersehen.